Yo, what is going on, fellas? So I get asked all the time when I'm live streaming, why did you even pick up what is seemingly just a random blue object? Like, those can't really be worth anything, can they? Well, actually, if you know what you're looking for and you get insanely crazy lucky, they can be worth a ton of high runes. Let's go ahead and take a look at a list of the best possible blue magic items in Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now, in order to show you these incredibly uncommon magic items that can be worth so much, I'm going to use this list over from maxroll.gg, and no, I'm not even going to go close to going through everything on this list because it's so incredibly extensive with all the different magic blue items that can be worth a lot. But everyone knows skillers with like life on them are worth a ton. Most people know small charms 3/20/20s are worth a ton. You know, things like that, hit recovery with all res, magic find with all res, and things like that. We're not going to go over that stuff. I'm only going to be talking about the stuff that has the most value, that's incredibly uncommon, that I get asked a lot, like, why are you even identifying that? Now, if you do come and look at this on your own time, if you want to look up every single thing, I'll put a link at the top of the description. But do keep in note, the way that I see it, pretty much almost everything listed as low value is essentially worthless. I don't even think anybody would ever trade, or it's going to be impossible to find anybody who wants this stuff, and you're not going to get hardly anything for it. Medium in general has like maybe a little bit of value, but once again, it's going to be very difficult. And then high and very valuable are the ones that really are what people consider like actually worth something. And this is an incredibly awesome sentence right here at the end of this paragraph. Hopefully this post inspires you to pick up all the potential insane magic rare items that people would normally just leave on the ground. Yes, people oftentimes just walk right past stuff that could be worth, who even knows, 50 burr runes. Now, our first stop along this list is going to be at magic jewelry. You see amulets and rings just laying all over the ground. So many people just don't even bother picking up. But if you get super lucky, you can get stuff with 3 to a particular skill tree for many different characters, pretty much all of them. You can get ones along with 10% faster hit recovery. This exact amulet right here is what I'm currently looking for my Fist of the Heavens Paladin. I wouldn't mind getting one like this with the 100 to life, which you can read right over here. They got a little list or little details about it. Is the maximum you can go ahead and get on that. Getting some of them with more magic find on there, very sought after for magic finders, of course. And then, you know, just obviously just a clean one with 3 to a character skill or whatever. Those generally aren't going to have really hardly any value, but it's a good temp until you get the crazy godly ones like this. And I'm not going to go through them all, obviously, but they have it listed here. You know, you can get ones with lightning, you get ones with cold skills, you can get ones with fire skills with the same different secondary stats on it. So I will note with these amulets, and it kind of goes for even skiller grand charms, which you didn't talk about, but make sure you familiarize yourself with the skill trees that are actually going to have value. Combat skills for the Paladin, going to be really good. Defensive auras for the Paladin, not so good. Pretty much a big problem, not going to be worth anything for you. So they have a pretty good list here. You know, they got the ones listed that are worth something, and they don't have the ones that aren't. So make sure you do familiarize yourself with those. So another one-off that can be incredibly noteworthy are for barbarians, specifically gold find, extra gold find from monsters. Most other characters don't necessarily gold find, but running Trav with barbarian, gold finding, trading the gold, or gambling, incredibly popular. So keep note of finding barbarian amulets that have that extra gold find. The one that I do want to note here is actually one that I've actually never seen before, but you can actually get up to 50 magic find on an amulet. Now, I feel like it's a tough sell when you can get something like Amara's, or you can get a 2 to a character skill with FCR on a caster amulet or something. Even though 50 magic find is great, I do feel like a lot of other places you could definitely make up the magic find instead of using it on a very valuable amulet slot. They do have this listed as as high value. I don't think I've ever seen one traded. I've never found one. I've never seen anybody have one. But I do want to note that just because it's interesting. I've never heard anyone even talk about it. So moving off jewelry, we're taking a look at circlets, and this is one of probably the more misunderstood sections that there is. Now, for these blue circlets, generally you're going to want to get, once again, much like the amulets, get the 3 to a particular character skill, along with you can get up to the 20 faster cast rate. So this one has 3 to a particular character skill, or you can get just 2 to paladin skills, 2 to sorcerer skills, and things like that. And as you scroll down, you can see right here the different things you can get. This one's for the sorceress, so fire, lightning, or cold. They're all going to be listed right in here. the lightning, the cold, the fire, and along with the FCR once again. Now you do notice these circlets all have 2 sockets on them. You have to Larzik them, and you have a 50% chance of getting 1 socket or 2 sockets. 1 socket, ooh, you're not going to be happy about it. Its value is plunges, but if you get 2 sockets, that's how it's going to have the most value, and it's going to be worth way more than if you just get the 1. So as far as magic circlets go, it's the skills, the FCR, and beyond that, it's kind of bust. That is, unless you get a magic one that rolls with sockets and then something else on it. So it's going to be the Artisan's mod, and this one right here is an example of speed, so 30% faster walk run, and then it has 3 open sockets in a magic one. And we're going to take a look at all these because, you know, the faster run walk one is very high, has extremely high value. You're going to fill that up with 40/15s, of course. There is other stuff though. The FCR can have value down here. Dexterity. We've got luck for the magic find. This one's probably the least, but there's gold find and of the whale, of course, another very popular one. So pretty much the ones that I hear the most of is the whale, the dexterity ones, and the walk run ones. From my experience from talking to people, those are generally, I'm not a PvP here, but the ones that people in the PvP community want to use. Because a lot of times if you're out there magic finding, why would you use this when you can just get a Shaco, Topaz it for 74 magic find, 2 to all skills, a bunch of life, a bunch of mana, damage reduction. I can't really see a ton of instances where you would really want to use this in particular. Now these class specific helms are one that I get questioned on the most. People are just unaware that sometimes they can have incredibly high value, and this is only if you get insanely lucky. One example right here is a Echoing Assault helm. So it's got 3 to war cries, that's the war cries skill tree, and 3 to battle orders. As it says right over here, extremely high value for pre-buff. That is incredibly important right there. Very high value. That's what's one you're really going to want to find. You're going to have a little bit of value. I don't necessarily know exactly. They're listed as high, but 2 to barbarian skills with 3 to battle orders. Once again, it is the same pre-buff right there. And then you can get one like this, War Cries and War Cry. That's if you're actually a singer barb, along with 40 to life. Once again, you do see this one right here. It's got the 2 sockets on it. So under the assumption that someone took it to Larzik, socketed it, got the 2 sockets. Now looking at Druid Pelts, and this is one that I pick up in ID. Every single one I can find, I'm really looking for the 6 NATO. Sometimes you'll even hear me shout it out just as I'm identifying it, just trying to force the hand of the RNG gods into giving me one of these. But 3 to elemental skills with 3 to tornado, and man, if it came with 60 to life too, I would lose my mind. Now that's incredibly uncommon, but man, they're worth a ton. It's pretty much the go-to for the most high-end, most expensive, most god tier wind druids, tornado druids. Also, you can get the 2 to druid skills along with the 3 to tornado there as well. And actually nowadays, oh, it was a year or 2 ago now, I guess, but the fire skills got bumped up. So if you get a 6 to fissure, also going to be worth something, along with volcano and or molten boulder. Now you can get more than just, like this one just has elemental skills and fissure. Like this one right here, you can get 3 to volcano and 3 to molten boulder. You can get multiple skills on there that can kind of combine to really help you out. Or even something like this for the summon druid, which also, much like the fire skills, got boosted up and now actually has a good use. You can actually get, this 3 to summoning skills, 3 to grizzly, 3 to summon direwolf, or 3 to heart of the wolverine. Or even like this right here, 2 to druid skills with the same stuff on it, or different combinations of skills. It would also be good, you know, you could come up here and get 3 to fissure, you could get 3 to your bear, you can get 3 to, you know, one of the other ones, molten boulder, different combinations of that stuff. So this is one of the greatest wishes I have for magic items, is to find something super god tier kind of along this list right now. Now blue sorceress orbs, these are ones that I probably ID the least out of anything that I've talked about now. And we're going to kind of look at this together here, but I've never really found anything like this. I've never traded for anything like this, and I've never seen other people trade for it. But here on this list, very knowledgeable people over here at Maxroll, a lot of these are listed as very high. So it might be something in the PvP community that I just have a blind spot for and I'm missing a little bit of knowledge on. Well, we're taking a look here at a 3 to fire skills, 3 to fire mastery, 3 to enchant. And once again, much like the barb helmets lifted over here, has a pre-buff item listed at very high. Most of everything that I've seen that was listed at very high really was worth a crazy ton. So even though I don't have the knowledge on this, I kind of trust them on this particular one, listed at very high. So this is probably some of the most damage, the most plus skills anyways that you can get for some of these orbs here. 3 to lightning skills, 3 to lightning mastery, and 3 to lightning. I do sometimes identify these blue orbs, but not very often, and it's so hard to get the right skills to roll together something like this, because so many times you'll get 3 to lightning skills, 2 to meteor, and 1 to blizzard or something. And at that point, what are you going to do with that? So as we continue down, you just see it's just combinations of the exact perfect skills rolled together. And if they aren't the perfect ones, essentially, I would say most of the time they're not going to be worth much of anything. 3 to fire skills, fire mastery, fireball, so that's for a fireballer. This one here is for a hydra sorceress. And down here, cold skills, shivering armor. This is going to be another pre-buff one. They have this one listed as difficult to trade. So the sorceress orb one, incredibly interesting to me. I have less knowledge on this one, but definitely good to know. Assassin claws, another magic item that can have a crazy high value, all listed here at very high. You notice they're all greater talons. I do believe this is the most sought after because of the attack speed, and also certain different types of claws for the assassin can roll with different skills. So I believe the greater talon, I could be wrong here, but I think that's the only one that can roll with the proper skills to be valuable and the best increased attack speed. I believe the runic talon also does have the same attack speed as greater talons, but it may not be able to have the same skills. All these listed here are all greater talons. So the first one up here, you already seen it for a second. This is actually a 6 lightning sentry, so this is for a trap assassin. Traps get thrown down on the increased attack speed, so it also comes along with 40% increased attack speed. That is with a perfect roll on these magic greater talents. Other versions down here, you got 2 to all assassin skills, 3 to lightning sentry, so similar to the one above, but the 2 to all skills instead of 3 to just traps. Here, this is for the fire version. Also another one like the fire druid that got boosted up more recently, but 3 to traps, 3 to wake of fire, 2 to assassin skills with the wake of fire. And then right here, this is actually a Shadow Discipline's Venom, and this would be a pre-buff item that has some value. I can see this being a little bit hard to trade though, and this is usually, I would guess, mostly just for PvP. Another one I get asked about a lot, and this is another one I really want to find, and that's when I pick up these class-specific javelins just for the Amazon. Maiden javelins, ceremonial javelins. The actual base doesn't matter a ton from what I understand. Obviously, the higher the base is going to have more requirements. It will have a little more damage. But really, a lot of these are for throwing, lightning fury, things like that. But 6 to javelin and spear skills with 40 increased attack speed. So really, these are just referred to as 640s. These are so amazing to have on your lightning fury Jabazon, getting 6 to skills. Those at the higher level, when you get 40, 42, 44 skills into your javelin skills, every level you get higher is a ton, just a crazy amount of damage. And of course, having that super high increased attack speed, throwing more jabs faster, dealing out more damage faster. Very high value. You can also get 3 to javelin spear skills and then 2 to Amazon skills. So this would be a 540. Also, once again, still incredibly valuable. And even if you don't get it absolutely perfect here, even 440s still listed here at high value as well. Now, the best that I found, I actually found some that were like this, except they only had 30 increased attack speed. But unfortunately, the pair that I found, and of course, just my luck, they were ethereal. Now, Paladin Scepters, another sort of blind spot for me. I get shouted at by chat all the time while I'm streaming to pick these up and look at them, Phil. And I need to remember to do it more often, because you can get something like this for the Hammerden. 3 to combat skills, 3 to concentration, 3 to blessed hammers. So that's 6 total overall to blessed hammers and concentration. You can get some FCR in that as well. So that's going to be very high value. Also want the similar version here with just the 2 to paladin skills instead of 3 to combat skills, and also the same things as those, but coming with conviction and Fists of the Heavens instead. Because Fists of the Heavens Paladin, now an absolute great paladin build. Now, another incredibly common one I get asked, why do you want to have 4 sockets on your Monarch, Phil? You can't even make a spirit in it. Well, it's actually way more valuable if it is magic and you get 4 sockets, along with certain particular mods such as deflecting. That is the 30% faster block rate and 20% increased blocking. This is one of the most well-known, super valuable magic items there are in the entire game. Now, along with that Jeweler's mod, now remember, all kind of need to have Jeweler's mod. Minus requirement is going to be great because it has such a high strength requirement. Usually, you see right here, 156. You get the minus requirements. Now it's only 110, so you can save a ton of points to put into Vitality, or of the Colossus is just the all life right there. And then Equilibrium, 17% faster hit recovery. Now, one that I'd be interesting, I actually just found a Jeweler's Monarch of Alikari, or I don't remember what it was called, just recently. It actually has damage reduced on it. It's like so close to rolling as something on this list. I wouldn't think probably that wouldn't have any value, but just super interesting. Just want to bring it up. So Paladin shields are very similar, but remember, they can roll the same, but also the bases can have up to 45 to all resistance. So similar to the Monarch, we've got this Paladin shield of deflecting. We've got down here, this one, of course, they can come with the enhanced damage and attack rating as well. So these are ones you can kind of look out for. ID those blue Paladin shields as well. Hope to get lucky. So body armors, another one I get asked all the time. Phil, why you identify that blue Archon plate? Like, what are you going to get with that, huh? Something right like this here. Jeweler's Archon plate of the Whale. You can get up to 100 life, 80 to 100 listed right there. It is high value. There are other ones that I will also look for as well. Hit recovery. You got strength, dexterity. Squid is just a lower version of life. That's the 60 to 80 right here. But this is actually an Artisan's light plate. If we look at it, it's actually level 30. So this is actually for a, is it mid-level dueling, I believe, or low-level dueling? I think it's mid-level dueling is 30 and under. So actually light plates, they can only have up to the 3 to the sockets on it and getting the 80 life. This is a perfect armor for that mid-level dueling range. Not a super large community of that, so it might be difficult to trade, but they do have value. Now, magic gloves can actually have quite a bit of value, and you can actually just shop these though from Chartsy, so you don't even have to necessarily go find these. I will mention also, when we talked about the body armor, this 3-socketed with a bunch of life, you can actually shop these from Chartsy in hell difficulty as well. Takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, but you actually can. Usually if I try to get 3 javelin skills with 20% increase in attack speed, I'm going to be shopping these. Or possibly I've heard of some people gambling them, hoping to get rare ones, and you get the magic ones. So any of these type of ones with increased attack speed, with magic find, of course you can get bow skills, or you can also get boom martial art skills with the increased attack speed or magic find as well. So that's some of the magic items I get asked about all the time. Phil, why are you identifying them? If you want to look at the full list, I just went over really the ones that I get asked about. Link at the top of the description to this list over on maxroll.gg. You can check out every little thing, every little tip they got on this list. So thanks for watching. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.